On February 2nd, 1949, Mr. and Miss Hogan were traveling home from Van Horn, Texas. At that time, as they were leaving Van Horn, 15 miles outside of the city, they were hit head-on by a Greyhound bus. Mr. Hogan had traveled through a fog bank and couldn't see, he had nowhere to go. He threw himself over his wife, Valerie, to save her life. Mr. Hogan was destroyed physically from the waist down, and the doctors had told him that he would probably never walk again. It turns out that 16 months later, Mr. Hogan wins the 1950 U.S. Open at Marion. In that light, the Ben Hogan Foundation has created the Award of Perseverance. This award goes to 4 exceptional young men and women, 2 high school and 2 college, who have been involved in a serious accident, illness, or an injury. This award is both a scholarship and a grant. It's a scholarship for the student to go to school at a college of their choice, and it's also a grant for the school that they attended. The Ben Hogan Award of Perseverance was established in 2016 in a partnership between Texas Health Sports Medicine and the Ben Hogan Foundation. In addition to that partnership, this award is made possible through the generosity of our corporate sponsors. We would like to thank Balfour Beatty, D.J. Kelly Jr. Foundation, Frost Bank, and Hillwood Development. Without them, this award would not be possible. We extend our sincere appreciation.
I've been playing baseball since I was about 7, and I love baseball because it pays attention to the little details. And I think of that as the little details of life too. It's just so mentally challenging. I think that's why I love it.
Cody plays multiple sports, football, basketball, and baseball. And he's just fun to watch. He's at the JV games, freshman games, and he'll be pointing things out to other kids that he's learned along the way. You can just tell he's passionate about the game and he enjoys playing.
My older brother Jacob had neuroblastoma when he was 10 years old. And as a result of that, he had cytotoxic pulmonary fibrosis in his lungs, which caused him to need a lung transplant. And as a result of that, he had some major organs that never restarted back up. And so he was experiencing organ failure. And then Jacob eventually passed away this year in January. I've had a lot of sports injuries over the years, but the worst was a year ago. During an at-bat, I had a high fastball come in, and on my swing, it hit the inside of my bat and spun up and it hit my face. And at first, I thought it was just a black eye.
It turns out that his injury was much worse than just a black eye. He had a fracture of the eye orbit, it broke his nose, but it also shattered the maxilla and the zygoma bones in his face. Eventually, he had a plastic surgeon that had to reconstruct the entire area.
But I still think of Jacob as my guardian angel, and he's what I think of when I hear the word perseverance.
I nominated Cody for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because in my mind, he is what perseverance is. He's been through a lot. He continuously works at coming back and overcoming any obstacle in his way.
Right now, I plan to use the scholarship money to attend Tarleton State University to major in nursing because I enjoy helping people. I like to try to help motivate them when they're in a down part of their life to be able to see the positives and help them get back to where they should be.
I play baseball and football because I love both of the games. Growing up, it was a really big component of how I bonded with my brother and my father, so it was always a big part of my life. When I was a freshman here at Geyer High School, they were offering free heart screenings, and that led to me getting screened, which then led to a follow-up appointment with a cardiologist who then said that I would have to get open heart surgery. Following this appointment, we then sought second and third opinions, which then led us to choose the robotic arm surgery through my rib cage, and that's gotten me to where I am today.
Cam had his surgery. Of course, he was ready to come back to school and get back to athletics, but we had to hold him back a little bit because he's a very ambitious student and athletes.
The scariest part about my case and anybody else's that is similar is that it had gone undetected, my whole life, 15 years of my life, regardless of, my physicals or my doctor checkups.
So he was really trying to get back into baseball because they had tryouts coming up soon, and he knew we had spring football. So we had to kind of put the reins on him and hold him back a little bit and progress him slowly.
You see a lot of, in the background, a lot of the weights and, the barbells and stuff like that, but it was mostly just body weight workouts that I was doing, just squats and, push-ups, planks, small stuff like that.
Just getting him walking and running again
Right.
was huge. I nominated Cam for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because he has one of the most outstanding stories I've ever heard. He tried to come back as fast as he could. He had a lot of determination to get back to do the things that he loved.
I think my case in particular proves that these screenings are so important. Living for Zachary is a nonprofit organization that provides free heart screenings and AEDs to kids around the world. I'm known as the student ambassador to the Living for Zachary organization.
Cam's he's an unbelievable kid when it comes to pushing past that threshold of where he's supposed to be and what he wants to do.
Once I got back to the sports that I love, I just realized, never take anything you love for granted. Always, seize an opportunity when it comes.
When I was 5, we moved over here from London to Dallas, and my parents said to me and my older brothers that we should find a sport that is inside from the Texas heat, so that's when I started to swim, and I've been swimming ever since.
Liberty's a freestyler, plain and simple. That's what she always wanted to do, and whatever we would do in practice, if we were doing stroke work or everything else, Liberty would be, well, can I do this one freestyle, Coach Flip? And I'd be, sure, of course, you can do freestyle on this one, Liberty. In 2017, Liberty had suffered a very serious injury that had kept her from finishing out her high school career at that point. And then in October, her performance as far as in practice began to deteriorate a little bit, and then she entered a meet in November.
So November 2017 of my senior year, I collapsed at school. I had a heart rate of a 30. They rushed me into ICU for 10 days.
I didn't see her again until December of that year, and she was in a wheelchair at that time.
After 7 weeks, I couldn't walk, so I was transferred to UT Southwestern, where they gave me a 3-day of high-dose steroids. My nurse, Anita, said, "You're going to be walking after the 3rd day." I said, "No, I won't be." And after the 3rd day, sure enough, I was able to walk again.
She's currently part of a 10-year study that she's giving blood and hopefully find the root of this issue.
My parents actually hung up swimsuits in my hospital room, and they said, "You need to get back to swimming again." I said, "Yes, I know." I was so determined.
And for anybody to take that amount of time out of the water under those circumstances and to be able to work their way back, not just to where they were, but beyond where they were, is truly phenomenal. And she's a testament to the word perseverance.
When I found out that I'd won the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award, I opened that letter. My mum was actually on the phone to my grandparents back in London, and I'd screamed so loud because I was so happy that my grandparents thought that something was wrong again. I want to become an elementary school teacher because I want to have kids achieve their dreams too.
I've loved soccer since I was probably 5 years old. I really got into it because of my brother. I'm pretty competitive and my brother loved it, so I wanted to love it as well. I just enjoy the flow of the game. I enjoy the banter between my teammates. I enjoy the purity of the game, really. The people I can meet, that's really kept me coming back.
He's a great soccer player. He is very aggressive, and he, at the same time, is also very patient. So he is a defender and can lead the team from the back.
So about 1.5 years ago, I fell on my shoulder, tore my labrum, came back from that, got in a little accident, infected my ankle, put me out about a month.
When he came back from that, immediately after had an MCL sprain, came back from that, and then immediately had an AC separation.
I get injured, I get back, then I get injured again, I get back. So it's kind of just like a wave instead of one long period. So it's pretty frustrating.
But he had over a year worth of rehab and injuries back to back to back, always fighting to come back.
So with all that happening, obviously, you really get broken down. I had a lot of determination to come back. It was a lot from myself and my own ambition and my own will.
I nominated Phillip for the Ben Hogan Perseverance Award because he embodies that word. He fights and he never quits, no matter what the challenge. He would come in the door, walk in the door, ready to go, ready for the task at hand. And you feel bad when a kid with that kind of passion and that kind of drive has something happen again and again and again.
But eventually, since they happened so many times, I really became broken and brought to my end. Once I was brought to my end, that really allowed the Lord to come in and really supply me. So really, I like to say, perseverance, it's nothing I do, man. It's nothing I do. I just have to be brought to my end and then allow the Lord to really supply me and support me and really give me the perseverance.
On behalf of the Ben Hogan Foundation and its board of directors, we'd like to congratulate Cody, Camden, Liberty, and Phillip on the 2019 Award of Perseverance. Congratulations, we are very proud of you.